Right. Okay, welcome back to the channel, everybody, and next card in the deck, where we'll be looking at the upcoming card of boxing. This week, we're going to be talking about the card that's going to be held at Rainton Meadows Arena in the north of England, courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn Matchroom Boxing. If you're going to tune in, it'll be live and exclusive on the zone. We're looking forward to this one. There's some really good talent on there. We're going to talk through all of the card, and we're going to do our usual at the end: the winners, fight of the night, most likely upsets, and
Rate the robot.
Rate the robot right at the end. So we'll get straight into it, and we're going to go top of the bill, which is Pat McCormack, Miguel Parra. Initial thoughts before we get into
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. McCormack's not been as active as I think people would have liked him to have been, considering his pedigree.
yeah,
He's had injuries. But yeah, no, McCormack's well above this level. The reason he's not had the British title fight yet is because people don't want to fight
yeah, yeah,
him. He's not. He's a lose-lose for anybody at British level because he's not a big enough payday for them to go. You know what? I'll take it. But anyone's entering there as the underdog. So
yeah.
it's a good fight. Parra's a tough opponent. Probably marginally the best opponent of his career. Probably just slightly edging out Robbie Davis.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting matchup.
Well, we did say before we started recording that this fight has flashes of the Robbie Davis Jr. fight in terms of Miguel Parra is also, uh, you know, probably wouldn't go as far as say a veteran, but he's been about. He's got plenty of fights. He's got plenty of knockouts as well, which
Yeah,
is
seems
always a concern, isn't it?
especially when you're Mexican.
Yeah,
Especially when you're
which
Mexican.
that's come up already from us, but
Yeah.
he's Mexican. He's a lot of his fights have been
Yeah,
that side of the sea, and he's got 17 stoppages.
yeah. So you look at Parra's record, he had a really close decision loss to Shakram Giasov, who
Yep.
is a very highly rated amateur prospect. He's 15-0 with 17-0, might be 17-0 with Matchroom. You don't go life and death with a fighter like Giasov unless you've still got a bit.
Yeah.
I think when McCormack beat Robbie Davis in his previous outing, Robbie was back end of his career. I'm not disputing Parra's not towards that end, but I think he's
Mm.
got maybe a little bit more left in the tank than
Yeah.
probably what Robbie
A little bit
Davis
more
did.
fire, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we've seen prospects come through banana skins like this before. We've also seen them go the other way. I don't think McCormack will because I think McCormack is that good. For me, routine enough performance. Then moving on to bigger and better things. The rumor has it, and we'll post this at some point, is Matchroom want to make McCormack Connor Walker.
Yeah, I mean that'd be a good fight for the British fans, 100%.
Oh, massive,
Um,
massive, great domestic fight. And the thing is as well with Connor is I was actually talking to him earlier, Cyrus Pattinson.
yeah,
Again, brilliant prospect still to this day. Has unfortunately been let go by Matchroom since the stoppage. Had a couple of injuries, couple of letdowns. His end, probably some personal issues. But when Cyrus lost to Connor Walker, it was this kid isn't as good as we thought it was going to be.
yeah, yeah,
When realistically, Connor Walker's just turned out that actually he was a bit of an unknown.
yeah.
And he's turned out he's absolutely brilliant. You know, arguably beat Lewis Crocker, who is now fighting for the IBF welterweight strap against
Paddy
Paddy
Donovan.
Donovan, which is something we'll cover at some point. So yeah. Honestly, this fight's really interesting because of where it's going to lead for hopefully, obviously, our hometown guy, Mr. Pat McCormack.
Yeah, and there's plenty of other. I know you mentioned Conor Walker, but there are plenty of other British fighters in the division
Oh yeah,
that would
huge.
make for a really good domestic clash. There, I made note of a few of them already. Harlem Eubank
Great
off
fight.
his loss to Catterall.
Great fight, yeah.
There's Michael McKinson in there, and Echo Esserman, who I think we talked about it ourselves, is arguably. I think Pat McCormack's got a lot about him. He's going to go far, but we've seen that Echo Esserman is he's fringe world level. If not, he's at world level, and it should be.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be a fight for down the road.
Yeah, I think so. I think with Echo Esserman, you always have to be conscious with Echo. He's called the engine for a reason. He will come and come and come. He's got a real sack on him. But he will, and he's honestly. We watched him. We watched him on the No, it wasn't the Eubank Smith. We was at. I think it was Parker. I think it was Parker Joyce. And again, absolutely brilliant fighter. Finally, kind of getting his just rewards on the back of the Taylor fight. But look, this isn't the Echo Esserman show.
Nope.
But you're right. McCormack has some brilliant opponents out there. Really excited to see where he goes. And I'll be honest, I see him fighting for world titles in 3 or 4 fights.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's that good.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he comes through Miguel Parra
Should do.
At the weekend, and we'll be we'll be looking at what's next.
Absolutely.
So, but again, we'll get to our predictions a little bit later.
Sound the plan.
Next up on the card, then we've got Mark Dickinson, Troy Williamson.
Chief support, co-main event, usual setup. Yeah.
English Super Middleweight title. This is for.
Interesting matchup. Troy Williamson, for me, is very, very much. I mean, obviously, former British middleweight champion.
Yep.
Mr. Williamson. Always been a big fan of his. Never turned away from a challenge. Notoriously tough. And I think, to be honest, solidly in and around that European level. Without giving my prediction away, we've not seen anything from Mark yet. Came through the same gym in Newcastle as Cyrus Pattinson and a couple of others, when they were sort of the Northeast was really booming with talent. I just don't think Mark's got enough about him, if I'm being completely honest, to deal with someone like Troy with the experience he's got. Troy's 20-4, if that's right.
Yeah, 24-1. I was going to say, actually, for somebody who's relatively early in his career in Mark Dickinson, he has picked up a loss already.
Yeah.
A unanimous decision against Kazuto Takasoki.
Yes, that was part of the Japan. It was in Japan, wasn't it? It was part of the prize fighter.
Japanese. Check you on that one.
It was the Japanese prize fighter, the one that Matchroom never finished. They created this big £1 million prize pool.
Yeah.
And then
didn't really do much with it.
They sort of turned it off at the first round. But I imagine it didn't do particularly good numbers. Matchroom are a business.
Yeah. And we know how businesses work. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting what you said. Troy Williamson is he has had a few losses in his most recent outings, 4 out of his last 5.
He has,
but 14 stoppages as well throughout his wins.
He can punch
and actually stoppages come in. It's not as though they're out of his sort of. It's not like he's out of his time now. It's going to be a real threat for Mark Dickinson.
I feel a little bit for Troy. You see it a lot where you have fighters who have got enough talent, got enough ability, but never get the opportunities. And Conor Walker was very close to becoming one of them, and still is to a little point. Because the thing is with Conor Walker, at the minute, and this is nothing against Eddie, because massive fan for me, obviously a massive lover of Eddie. Once Conor Walker stops winning, Conor Walker isn't commercially valuable enough to stick around with Matchroom.
No,
he's not. And there are fighters that do stick around. Reece Blott is a prime example. He's been there since day one at Matchroom, and he continues to put on good shows. I just think with Troy, he's not ever had the full promoter backing. You look at the losses on his record. It's against people like Ishmael Davis, who's competed now against Josh Kelly and Boachuk at world level. You've also got a loss to Kievan Ajarko. Again, no shame whatsoever in losing someone like Ajarko. No. So it's tough. It's tough. I don't feel like he's always had the rub of the green. He's had some close decisions. I think he has been stopped. But for me, with Troy, deserves an opportunity. And I think if he wins this, it leads exactly back into the big fights at the super middleweight division.
100%.
And deservingly so. So. He's a Northeast boy. A little bit disappointing, to be honest. And we're speaking to Troy about it, that it is at the Rainton. Is it Rainton Arena?
Rainton Arena,
Yeah, a little bit disappointing because it's tiny. It's a tiny little arena. And I'll be honest, I think look at the McCormack Parra. Could have done bigger.
Bigger.
For me, it could have done. Because we tried to get tickets and it was sold out immediately, and I don't think that's necessarily down to the fact you've got loads of big ticket sellers. I just think it's down to the fact that
it's not big enough for the event.
No, unfortunately not.
I think this is going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be one where Mark Dickinson is essentially the person that's being built up, the prospect, and Troy Williamson is coming in as the other side of that. But he won't be. He'll be coming to win,
100%.
and I think that's going to be a really good fight. And again, I don't want to spoil any predictions, but I could see that being an upset.
Mouth zipped.
Mouth zipped. We don't want to spoil too much, but
too many cooks spoil the broth.
Exactly. Sorry to jump in, everybody. Me and Tom have just been talking about how we can't wait for the Troy Williamson Mark Dickinson fight, but we know somebody else who's even more eager than we are, and so we thought you might like to hear from him.
So, evening, Troy. Welcome to Boxing 365 podcast. Really appreciate you taking your time to come speak to myself and Dan and our very limited viewers, as we are still a small channel. So, you've got your fight coming up on September 6th, this Saturday, against Mark Dickinson for the Super Middleweight English title. How are you feeling? How's things going?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm in a great place mentally and physically. Counting down the days now. I can't wait to get in there.
Yeah, no, we're really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it, aren't we? To be fair. Yeah. So how's camp life? How's camp gone? Gone smooth?
Yeah, it's gone great. Obviously I've got a new team, new coach. So we've been working on a few different things. I'm really looking forward to putting it all into play on next Saturday. I'm going to shock a lot of people. A lot of people will be expecting the same Troy Williamson from previous fights, but there's a lot to showcase what I've been working on, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Now, to be fair, we said yesterday when we did the recording of the podcast, we said with regards to yourself and your career, Mark Dickinson's not shown us anything really in regards to being anywhere close to your level. And I think you look at we've got it as one of the questions, but you look at your sort of losses on your career. You've got Kievan Ajarko, who again is a phenomenal talent in his own right. Josh Kelly, who is potentially fighting Mutazaliev for a world strap at welter. You've not lost to poor opposition, and I think people overlook you from our perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm assuming you're in agreement with that to a point.
Yeah, to a point. Yeah, obviously I've not lost to no poor opposition, but again, I think I've never once made excuses, but I put my losses down to just being at the wrong weight, at the wrong time. Like, obviously I've fought through carrying injuries, but it's just the mentality I've got. I've done a 10-week camp, and then if I picked an injury up like that the last week, but I've sold over 1,000 tickets, then really I don't really want to pull out. Where in hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have fought, but I say there's no regrets.
What you were saying at the time, you were talking about your mental strength and about how you went through camps, you picked up a couple of injuries. Yeah. You don't want to pull out of those fights. You want to sort of fight through it, and obviously that's going to stand you in good stead.
Yeah, of course, because like I've boxed obviously at a good level, and the losses that I have picked up I've just not been 100%. So there's genders. I'm 100% now. There's no niggles, nothing whatsoever, and I don't have to kill myself to make weight anymore. So yeah, everyone's going to see the best performance of me on next Saturday. That's guarantee.
We're excited, and so you're fighting at super middle now, aren't you? This will be at super middleweight for the English title.
I've seen a few people saying that like, he's jumping up 2 weight classes like this, but people forget like this is in kilograms. It's 76.2 kilos. I boxed for GB 75 kilos 10 years ago. So
yeah,
like I was killing myself to do 69 kilo as super welterweight, and then even middleweight 72.6. So this is my natural weight. I probably walk around at 84 kilos. So I'm going to be a big super middleweight as well. Not the biggest, but I'm definitely going to be big on come Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm excited because even at your lower weights, when you fought, and obviously when you were British champion, you've always been big at them weights. And like you say, we don't see it from a fan's perspective, but we can only appreciate and imagine from your perspective how hard it must have been to get down there. So, God willing and all being well, we get through Mark Dickinson, because Mark's going to come to fight. He knows.
I'm getting through Mark Dickinson. Don't worry about that. I have no doubt in my mind. Like, this is I've not like don't get me wrong. Like, I respect Mark. We've shared hundreds of rounds sparring, but I just feel supremely confident in myself. The work I've put in, the shape that I'm in. Like, I can't see. I feel I've got an answer for everything that he brings.
Love that confidence. We're next for you. What's the aspiration for Troy Williamson? You've had your experience. You've gone them rounds. You've lost. You've made some mistakes with weight. We're next for you. What do you want to achieve? What do you want to achieve in the sport going forward? Two-weight British champion?
Yeah, that'd be like, obviously I want to do it at middleweight. I'd love to become a two times British champion. I think there's bigger fights at middleweight, and the offers that I've had on the table when I do get through Mark, there's some big fights to be made at middle, and I just think I had 13 months out of the ring the last time when I made middle, and I struggled to do that way. But get through Mark, couple of days off at the most, and then straight back in the gym, stay active, keep in the gym, and I can make middle. So, and I think there's bigger fights down there. So maybe drop down to 160 and look to become a two-time British champion.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, we'll move away from this weekend because we're confident that we think what's going to happen is going to happen. You're clearly in fantastic shape. Do you want to ask a few more of the personable ones, I would describe them?
Yeah, we just wanted to ask you, Troy, about what sort of stuff keeps you interested when you're outside the ring. What sort of things do you get up to? What do you enjoy? What keeps you focused on your career and things?
I'm a family man. Like, I've very family oriented. I've got a big family, so I just like a bit of downtime. Spend some good quality time with my family. I don't really do much. I don't go out drinking. Got a few dogs. I like walking. That's about it really.
I think people love that as well. We especially do, from our perspective, because it's that sort of the everyman, isn't it? The sort of the man in the dog, the man in the streets champion. Do you know what I mean? The people's champion.
Yeah.
Outside of the ring, outside of selling thousands of tickets and packing out arenas, you're a normal guy that wants to go home to his kids, tuck them into bed, take the dogs for a walk, and I think that speaks a lot about you as a character.
Yeah, therefore, and like nothing will ever change. I've said it before. Like, if I was to ever become a world champion, I made millions of pounds. Like, still live in Darlington, nothing would change. Like, people see me and asking me for photos. I still find it like I still find it like outrageous that people look at me like as if I'm some. So I was saying to my girlfriend earlier, like, I'm not a celebrity. I don't like to class myself as a celebrity, as some people do look at you and think you're famous and that. But for me, I'm just Troy Williamson from Darlington.
Troy Williamson, family man, occasionally have a scrap in a ring and do quite well at it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Go on, should we do some? Should we do a couple of quick fires and then we'll let Troy get off to his tucking his kid in? Go on, I'll leave you with this one.
Yeah, we'll just come. You talked about the good fights we made at middleweight. I just wanted to ask if you had an opponent, you could pick a dream opponent, who it would be.
Once I get through Mark Dickinson, I'd like to fight the winner of Conway Lizard for the British Championship.
That'd be a cracking fight, to be fair. And I'll be honest, I don't think, at least from my perspective, looking at it, and I'm sure you'd say the same, Troy. I don't think you enter that fight going, this is a massive step up, because I'd say that Conway and Lizard are both levels below what you have competed at.
Yeah.
And I think you'd go in there really with a real good chance of walking away with that British strap.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say levels below, although obviously British champion, but good fight, good domestic to stop. Like, everyone wants to see them, so why not? If it's not one of them two, then over big fights at 160. There's obviously, I've called the Nathan Heaney fight for a long time. Tyler Denny, Scott Pauls. These are all good fighters, and I respect them all. And I just think that they'll make with our styles. I think our styles will clash, and there'll be big fights.
Agreed. So we've got, obviously, it's a nice easy one, but favorite boxer of all time, whether that be to watch or whether it be the one that's given your career the most inspiration.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
Love that. He's up there for me. You can't go wrong with that.
Nah, just Mike Tyson. I loved everything about him. To be fair,
Yeah.
but obviously put his all the incidents aside and his crimes aside, I think his aura itself was just phenomenal. I thought the way he conducted himself inside the ring was just, you'll never get enough Mike Tyson.
We've always said, haven't we, to be fair, that Prime versus Prime, I think, is the best heavyweight of all time. I don't think anybody against Prime Mike Tyson, even though people argue that was probably only for 18 months, anybody stands and trades with Mike Tyson successfully. I just don't think it happens.
Yeah.
No, definitely not standing trade. Definitely not.
Go on, last question.
Yeah. So you talked about your ideal fight you'd like to make. Where would you want that to be? What venue would you choose for a British title scrap?
Well, British title scrap. Anywhere. Obviously, I'm from Darlington, probably the closest. Obviously, I've got a lot of big fan base in Middlesbrough. I was training in Middlesbrough for a long time, so who knows? Like the biggest stadium around here is Riverside, Middlesbrough. So maybe that or Darlington Stadium. I'd love to do that. So who knows?
Are you a football fan, Troy?
Not me. I was when I was growing up, so I wouldn't really say I was a football fan now.
If
When
you
I was
had to
growing
pick
up,
if you had to pick a team, who would it be?
England.
Good call.
Great call.
I
Don't
just
upset
like
anyone.
as I was growing up as a teenager, I supported Man United, but
Really?
like not to be fair, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even name the top 11 now. I couldn't even name the midfield. Like, I don't really follow football that much. I keep an eye on the northeast teams, all the northeast teams,
Yeah.
Middlesbrough, Sunderland, Newcastle. I like to see them all do well. Hopefully, one day they'll all get back in the Premier League together and
Yeah.
some good weekends away. But I just like watching all football, like all good football. I don't really support a team now.
It's one of them things. But look, I don't want to keep you. You've been an absolute blessing for British boxing. And I don't think you get we don't think you get half as much credit as you deserve. Look, good luck above all else for Saturday.
Yep.
Show the world what they've been missing. And we are absolutely buzzing, mate, to see the run you can go on with that momentum, the fitness, the weight being right. And genuinely really do appreciate you taking your time and being patient with our technical issues.
Yeah. Cheers,
No, mate. Once we get this job done on Saturday, we'll jump back on.
Amazing. Troy, hero. Thanks, buddy.
Troy.
See you later, mate.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Okay, we will look to move on to the next fight on the card. Our first ladies' fight on the card.
Yep.
Sandy Ryan, Jade Grierson. Sandy Ryan is now coming off the back of 2 world title defeats.
Correct.
Kayla Mayer.
Yeah. No shame in that.
That's what I was going to say. How much you can read into something like that?
You can't.
You're fighting for a world title and falling short against great opposition.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same story as can be said for many boxers now. If you aspire for greatness, then inevitably one side of that is going to fall short. That doesn't mean that.
You put that really well. I think it's that old saying of if you aim for the stars, you'll hit the moon.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing with Sandy. Is Sandy Ryan? We watched her a couple of times live, and is Sandy Ryan the most complete fighter? No. But do you know what? She's tough. She's tenacious.
Good watch.
She's good. She's good. She's fan friendly.
Yeah.
I like Sandy Ryan. I honestly, this should be routine enough for Sandy. I don't know a lot about Grierson.
No.
Not enough to be able to sit here and say she's completely out of her depth. I would expect it to be routine for Sandy.
Yeah. Well, so Grierson's 5 wins.
Yep.
No losses, 1 draw.
Okay.
2 stoppages in the 5. I feel like I have to make a mention of the stoppages because it's not something we always see in women's boxing.
No. Look at Clarissa
and
Shields.
So it is impressive to see those stoppages on somebody's record. And there's another female fighter that we'll talk about a bit later. But it's a bit of a show of power, really.
Women's boxing, 100%.
So I think, it's not nothing's ever a dead cert, but like you say, I think I'd be of the opinion that if Sandy Ryan goes and fights a fight and performs anything like as well as she has done to earn herself a world title shot, it should be pretty routine.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Sandy's still got a future.
Yeah,
still got a future. Still got big fights out there for her. Lots and lots of people have said, Terry Harper, for example, when she fought Terry wasn't at the races. There was huge question marks on the weight. Terry has fluctuated and been, I think Terry's a 3-weight world champion now through the women weights and hugely underrated. Again, I know we mention it a lot, but we were at the Rhiannon Dixon fight and everybody, us included, to be fair, when don't know what Terry's got left, and absolutely phenomenal. And look at the run she's gone on.
Great night as well.
Great night of boxing. Absolutely phenomenal night of boxing.
Lovely arena.
Great little arena. One of my favourites now, the Cannon.
It's great.
If anyone's not been, don't be put off when you see it. The Cannon Medical Arena at Sheffield is, honest to God, one of the best arenas you can visit. Genuinely, we are not sponsored or connected in any way whatsoever to the Cannon Medical Arena. But if you see a card there, don't let it put you off. It's brilliant.
It's quite an intimate arena as well. It's like you feel like you're on. Do you know what
I love about it?
Yeah.
You go to the bigger arenas and you get bad seats. Now, in the Cannon Arena, there's not a bad seat.
No.
There's not a bad seat in the house. If you want to sit ringside, by all means, right?
Yeah.
But you could sit in the furthest corner at the highest row and you get a good view.
Still get a great view.
Still be
right in amongst it.
Yeah, honest to God, absolutely love it. But yeah, Sandy's got plenty to offer. The Terry Harper possibly could be a rematch for the future. Yeah. But again, it depends on where Terry plans to campaign.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be interesting. Looking forward to it. Good fight.
Yeah, 100%. Another, our top 3 fights of the bill looking really entertaining.
Cracking little next gen card, I'd argue.
Yeah,
that type of card.
Yeah. Well, I think that takes us nicely over to what we're going to talk about next, which is the exciting young fighters on the card. Future of British boxing.
Some big names.
Some
very big names on the card from a youth point of view.
Yeah, and I'm going to start us off with Cameron Vong. He's going to be, well, at the time of filming this, no opponent confirmed.
Yeah.
But I think that probably tells you about the caliber of fighter that he's going to be getting in the ring with.
This is, from the interviews I've watched and from the things I've listened to and what I've read, for me, this is very much a Ben Davidson has, and this is nothing against Jamie Moore. We speak about Jamie Moore a hell of a lot as a coach, and he's an absolutely brilliant coach.
Yeah.
However, Ben Davidson made a comment that there was a few things that needed tidying up with Cameron. And that isn't the fact that there was anything necessarily wrong, but Ben has a way of fighting. He is very much, this is the plan.
Yeah.
You stick to it or find another coach. We've seen it with Lee Wood.
Yeah.
We've seen it with Joshua. We've seen it with, we could go through the list. Pat McCormack's trained by Davidson. So this has, from what I've been told and from what I've heard, this has been requested as we need a routine opponent who's going to stand there and let Cameron practice what he needs to practice before going into the fight that I'm sure you're going to bring up, which is Mr. Gwynn.
Which is a rematch with Gavin Gwynn. I mean, the reason that's coming up is, well, we were there.
I feel like this video, we've mentioned a lot that we go to a lot of boxing.
But we were there, and I would call it a controversial win. I think on the night, everybody thought it was a controversial win.
Yeah,
I actually believe Eddie got in the ring.
He did.
And said
he's lucky.
He's got away with it there. He's got very lucky.
Yeah.
So whether that's a fight that he goes back into, right that wrong, and then look to continue on the path that people expect that he was on.
I think he's got to. A bit like with Johnny Fisher. So Johnny Fisher was knocked out by Dave Allen, which, let's be honest, probably if Dave was 100% the first fight, probably would have happened anyway. And people have fell in love with Johnny further. Cameron Vong, when we went to that night, we said this is a huge step up, and we called the upset.
Yeah.
But it was his 7th pro fight against a man who has won British European titles and who is notoriously tough.
Yeah.
Gavin Gwynn, for me, we've watched it back, won that fight. It was close. I'm not disputing Cameron wasn't competitive, but we went in there thinking Cameron Vong, though, if he comes through this, it proves that he is one of the best prospects, not just in Britain, but in the world. I'm not disputing his talents there, but for me, to be able to get past this mindset that I'll have
Yeah.
as a boxing fan and speaking on behalf of the fans,
Right the wrong.
got to right the wrong.
Yeah. Well, I think in terms of what he's going to be facing this weekend, I mean, we've said it about all the fights. This should be relatively routine.
Oh, it will be,
if he's got no opponent confirmed, it's unlikely that it's going to be a big test for him. Like you said, it's going to be a bit of practice. So it should be a good win. But looking forward to seeing him back out and hoping that he continues his trajectory.
Absolutely. And I think as well with that, I'll be interested to see how his fight styles change slightly because he was quite undisciplined under Jamie Moore. Like with the Gavin Gwynn fight, he seemed to go on his own little path.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I'll do as I think, right? And you're a 20,
Talent
21,
so far.
22-year-old. Talent will only get you so far. At some point, you've got to look at your coach and think, right, it's all fine and well being in there, but your coach is scoring it. He's watching what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, big up Gavin Gwynn, Cameron Vong, too. I think it's only fair that Big Gav gets the A side.
Yeah. Gets his, right. Next impressive young talent, Leo Atang.
Oh.
Second pro outing.
Yep.
He's fighting an opponent, I suppose, as your second fight. That's the kind of fight you'd be expecting. Christian Nwaka, who's 1-5-1.
Yep.
So 5 losses, but only been stopped once.
Tough guy.
Yeah, it's going to be you might not just walk through this person.
I think you need that. You need that. The heavy bag.
The heavy bag.
The heavy bag as such. The heavy bag with legs. Leo Atang is incredible.
Yeah.
We were very impressed with his first performance.
Very.
He's got a phenomenal lead left hook body shot that, honestly, I went to bed thinking, I wish he'd hit me. I wish he'd hit me with that.
I'm making you feel sick.
Yeah. Phil's fell over. Honestly, like, just superbly talented. 18 years of age.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely superb. Really nice guy as well.
I think the way he's he's only had his first pro outing, but he looks very promising, and hopefully in the next few fights we see more of what he's made of. But it's a future,
without a shadow of a doubt.
He's going to be a future champion, isn't he?
You don't win the Youth World Championships and be a nobody.
No.
And you looked in your first fight. We've seen some of the amateur heavyweights cross over that have not done it, and we're not going to bring him up again, the poor guy. But he's out in finance now, doing his thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Tasty, we call him. Anyone knows. But then there's also people, more famously Audley Harrison, where the power didn't necessarily carry over to the main swords, to the professional bouts. I think Leo's got to get everything.
Yeah.
We said in joking off camera that Leo Atang Atauma is an absolute super fight for the future.
Years to come, that's going to be a big thing.
Yeah, Atang. Leo's 3-4 years behind Atauma in regards that he's 18. Atauma's now 21 next, so he's 20 at the minute.
Yeah.
I think they'll move him quickly.
Yeah.
I do think they'll move him quickly.
Well, let's hope so. I'm hoping that he'll put on a good performance again. Maybe we'll get to see that lead left hook again. He can dream about it.
God, I hope so.
And then another. So coming back round to the other female fighter on the card, TMA Ayton.
Yeah. Wow. So lots of things have been rumoured about Tia over the many years that people have been talking about her.
Mm.
She has won multiple accolades in
multiple disciplines
to the point that I'm sure she's a judo world champion, kickboxing youth world champion, incredible boxing amateur, 21 wins, unbeaten, 9 stoppages in the amateurs. As a female boxer in the amateurs, 9 stoppages in 21 is mental.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I threw out earlier to you. I think she is the most excited I've been about a female fighter.
Yeah.
Ever.
I know you did say that to me. Yeah.
The levels in female fights are always going to go up because it's becoming more mainstream. Lauren Price was, when she came through, I was like, yeah, do you know what? And look, Lauren Price is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Caroline Dubois was another one for me.
Yeah.
Tia, I'm telling you. I'm honest.
She's going to be it.
She's going to be that turning point where she's going to be that next Katie Taylor. She's going to be that carry the flag for women's boxing. You
Yeah.
know, like Clarissa does in the US, like Katie's done here in Britain, and obviously in Ireland. I mean,
Yeah.
she's idolised. And
Tier
phenomenal.
is going to be that.
Tune in.
Yeah.
Whoever she is fighting this weekend is going to die.
Let's hope not.
Fingers crossed, no deaths.
Liddy Bielicic is she's fighting, but
yeah.
three wins, 3 losses, 1 draw. So look, again, I think
she's there to beat him.
That's unfortunately you do have to say that for fighters that are coming through and starting up their careers, there are going to be people that are there to be beaten. So
what we have seen multiple times, journey men and journey women come out and go, do you know what?
Yeah, I'm not here to be beaten.
Fucking fancy it. Absolutely fancy it. So yeah, phenomenal talent.
Yeah,
phenomenal talent. And within 4 or 5 fights, she'll be in there with some of the biggest names in boxing, because you can't move them slow in women's boxing. There's no the level of competition isn't there. You've got sort of not particularly very good, quite good, and then world level.
Yeah, there's not as much progression through the levels.
The depth doesn't exist. Like you look in male boxing, you've got a huge quantity of very, 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 very good journeymen who fill a very important role. And I'm sure we'll do a video about journeymen at some point. And then you've got the central area English. The step up between central area and English is huge. And then you go Commonwealth, British, and you sort of, it's just absolutely phenomenal. But the women's boxing will get there.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it's with such influential female boxers at the minute.
Yeah,
it's growing. I think there's more growing. So that is good. I mean, there is also a couple of other names on the card.
There is
Bradley Casey.
Very good debut.
His debut.
Yeah, very, very, very excited to see him fight.
Yeah, at Cruiser, and then we've also got Adam Macker, who'll be out on his second outing as well.
Adam Macker made his debut at the MGM Grand. Adam Macker is managed by Mr. Sam Jones. Adam Macker is also one of the best prospects in British boxing. Adam Macker is this card in Pat McCormack, Leo Atang, Adam Macker, TMA Ayton as the predominant 4 are crazy. Yeah. The levels that these kids, at their ages they're at as well, could go.
Massive.
Huge.
Yeah. Really,
absolutely
really impressive.
Huge. But Brad Casey also very excited for the debut. I dropped him a message on Instagram, he's ignored me.
That's all right. I'm sure he'll get back to you.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Brad.
Seeing as though you've hyped it up, before we get into our winners, I think now's a good time to rate the card as a whole.
I really like it. I think it's solid. I think it's an 8.
An 8, really?
I think it's an 8, yeah.
Even after calling out the arena?
Yeah, I think so. Because it's an next-gen card. Just because I want it in a big arena. Eddie knows what he's doing. Eddie and Frank have got it down.
You think? Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so. They've made a multi-billion-pound business. They're doing all right. I think it's an 8 because I'm judging it as a next-gen card.
Yeah.
If you said to me, judge it against Canelo Crawford card, then all right, fine. But we've got to compare apples and apples.
Yeah.
As a next-gen, young card of boxing, absolutely.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Phenomenal card. Some really, really good, exciting talent. Tune in, watch it. Phenomenal.
Perfect. Right. Winners. Let's start off at the top. McCormack Parra.
McCormack stops in 6th round.
Okay. Mark Dickinson, Troy Williamson.
So controversial to people, to probably the casuals, because generally you pick the A side, don't you?
Yeah.
Troy's got too much for him. Too big, too strong, too clever, too experienced. I would expect potentially a late stoppage for Troy.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I like that. I think I'm going to back that one. Sandy Ryan, Jade Grierson.
Yeah, routine enough. I don't know a lot about Jade, but we've followed Sandy since the day she made her debut. So for me, we'll back our girl. I think Sandy Ryan. She can punch a bit. So stoppage by body shot.
Very specific.
Very specific.
I like that. I'd ask you to go into the predictions for the others, but
win.
think we've got Cameron Vong winning, Leo Tang winning, Tim Ayton winning.
Yeah. To pick probably stoppages and bits and bobs, but yeah, they're all going to win it.
We're just looking forward to seeing all those British fighters out there putting on a good show.
Putting on a good show.
Youngsters as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, really excited. Amazing card.
Absolutely. Right. Well, we said it's an amazing card. Fight of the night. What's going to be the one that people should watch?
It's hard to pick against the main event because I think McCormack is. Again, it's hard because the saying, don't pay with your own wallet, or don't think with someone else, don't think with your own wallet. There's a saying. My point is that I cannot wait to watch Pat McCormack. I absolutely love his footwork. I love the way he fights, but I appreciate not everyone wants to watch that. For me, from an excitement point of view, I really, really think the Dickinson Williamson fight.
Yeah,
I can see that being an absolute barnstormer.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. And most likely upset. Does that steal the same accolade?
I don't see it as an upset, but yeah, on paper.
If you're looking at A and B side,
looking at the bookies' odds, yeah, it's definitely the most likely upset.
Yeah,
100%.
I think I agree. I think there's a really good.
I think the bookies have got it wrong on this one.
Time will tell.
They will. So will my wallet.
Will we be wrong?
I will put my money on it.
Okay, right. We'll get into Rate the Robot then.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Where we're going to look at what AI predicts and compare it to what we think, whether it's a mile off, whether it's something right.
And we'll revisit it on post-fight clarity.
Yeah. So, prediction for the main event: Pat McCormack wins, and it says likely to be mid to late round stoppage or a unanimous decision. That's a bit of a cop out, but it does say that there's a predicted 100% win rate for McCormack.
I think AI have got that wrong. It is never 100%.
Can never be in any fight.
Never, ever. It's a fight. It's a fight. It's silly AI.
Moving on to Mark Dickinson, Troy Williamson. Dickinson retains the title via decision or late stoppage.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to argue it.
You can't. We've sort of gone the opposite way. Ryan Grierson, Sandy Ryan wins by decision.
Yeah.
Ryan's experience gives her the edge, which I think is actually quite a fair breakdown. Yeah. It has actually given you predictions for Cameron Vong, even though he doesn't have an opponent, which is that he wins by decision. Tim Ayton wins by decision or TKO, but it doesn't give you a round. So again, that's a bit of a cop out.
ChatGPT.
Bradley Casey. Sorry, I've missed one. Leo Atang. Atang wins comfortably by stoppage, is what it says. Which again is probably accurate, isn't it?
Absolutely phenomenal, yeah.
Bradley Casey wins by decision. Adam Maka wins probably by decision.
Yeah, I can get behind each and every one of them, to be honest. I think the only one you'd argue with is the 100%. But in all fairness, this is why AI shouldn't be used ever, because it doesn't know what it's doing.
We only use it to call it out on its bullshit.
Yeah. We use AI to criticise it and tell everyone it's dangerous. Has anyone ever watched iRobot?
Yeah. God, did you not hear what they told you? Brilliant. Okay, well, that is everything covered off. We've talked through the whole card. We've talked through our predictions, fight of the night, upset of the night, and Rate the Robot.
We have.
So that is it. We'll be tuning in to watch it, and we'll be running post-fight clarity afterwards, where we'll review the fights with the benefit of hindsight.
Yeah, absolutely. So, thanks for watching.
And make sure to like and subscribe.
Please.